What is going on, my beautiful people? What is up? Welcome to yet again another episode of the Pivot Mindset Podcast. Guess what? My name is Justin. I'm your host, and I'm excited to have you joining with me on yet again another episode. I've got a really good topic that I want to talk to you about. I want to first, though, ask for you to do me a favor. If you could do me two favors, please. First one, if you could give this podcast a rating or review. If you have not given this podcast a rating, what are you doing? I need your help. We're trying to get this message out there. We want other people to be a part of this community. I want to help other people live pivoted lives. So many other people just need support. They need guidance. They need encouragement, right? And I just want to be that for people. So if you could please leave this podcast a rating and review, it helps out the algorithm. It allows us to get our message out there to more people. And lastly, can you please share this podcast with your community? Would you mind giving a screenshot? So just take a screenshot, no matter what phone or device you're listening to this on. Just give it a screenshot and post it on your social. Let people know that they should be checking out and being part of the Pivot Mindset community, right? All right, man, let's dive in. So we already know what the script is, right? We believe that life is all about the pivot. Say it with me. And those who decide to make the pivots decide to become successful. We believe that if you decide to make the pivots in your life, you will be successful. So I want to talk about work ethic. I want to talk about work ethic. So much of our life and so much of work ethic is, I think, in today's day and age, is so blown up and so taken out of proportion. And we are in such a grind, hustle, grit mentality, and we just want to grind ourselves to the absolute bottom. It's all about who can work the longest, who can go without sleep the longest, who can hustle the hardest, who can wake up the earliest, etc. And in this episode, I want to really give some trueness and hopefully some freedom and clarity to what's better than like work ethic in the sense of working hard. To me, work ethic does not mean always working hard. So hang with me here. So for whoever's listening to this episode, there are people who make, and I'm gonna just use this because I think it's easier to use these kinds of analogies and examples. But there are people who make hundreds, if not thousands times more money than you, right? And these people that make hundreds or thousands times more than you money financially, they are not doing hundreds or thousands times more work than you. They're not. They're totally not. So I just researched, right? We got Jeff Bezos, who just bought Twitter. His estimated net worth is $171 billion. You got, Elon Musk up there. I think he is the richest person maybe right now. He's like $219 billion. Bill Gates is like $129 billion. Warren Buffett, $118 billion. All these people with a B, these are billionaires. And these billionaires, get this, did not work a billion times more than you. Mic drop, right? The people that have $1 billion did not work a billion times more than you. Get that. So, and I can use this analogy in so many other areas and so many other aspects in life, but I just like to use the money one because to me it serves the purpose that in order to get more doesn't mean you have to work harder. In order to get more in life, it does not mean that you have to work harder. I feel like I'm dealing with people's beliefs. I'm dealing with your belief system in this episode. In order to get more out of life, you don't have to be smarter. You don't have to work harder. You don't have to, look better. You don't have to be more popular. You don't have to lose 10, 15, 20, 50 pounds. You don't have to have six-pack abs. You don't have to have, a celebrity. You don't have to be married to a celebrity, right? You don't have to be a celebrity to get 100 times better or to get 1,000 times better financially, in whatever area in life. It's not about work ethic. It's not about working hard. It's not about putting in more hours. It's not about putting in more grind. You know what it's about? Do you really want to know what it's about? To get better, to do more, to what's better than work ethic is belief. Doom, doom, doom. Like I feel like I need to load my soundboard with a bunch of sound effects, right? But to get more, to get better, what you need more than anything is belief. Belief. The question that I've got for you is, how much do you believe that your dreams are actually possible? When you sit with yourself and when you sit with the totality of who you are, with what you have, with the kind of person you want to be, with the way you want to impact and bless and encourage the world, where's your belief system at? Do you believe that the things that you've got right now, though they're meager and though they're meek, and you could be living paycheck to paycheck, or you could be on the struggle, or you could be, one bad circumstance out of being broke or being, impoverished. Do you believe that's what you deserve? Do you believe that's what the kind of life that you're supposed to live? Do you believe that that's in essence what you were placed on earth to be? Did you believe that you're just placed on earth to pay bills and die? Or do you believe something else about yourself? And I have it made up in my mind that the kind of life that I will live, the kind of life that I will possess, the life that's after me actually, it will only be caught and it'll only be found on the opposite side of my belief. My belief actually, get this, your belief will actually be the thing that shows up in your work ethic. So I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that it's you don't have to work hard. I am not saying that you don't have to put in a lot of hours. I'm not saying that you won't lose nights of sleep. I'm not saying that you won't, have extended hours that you'll need to work and that you won't be on a grind and that you won't be on a hustle. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that your belief is what shows up and what significantly changes your life. You cannot be a billionaire unless you first believe you can. I just have no doubt about that. No one stumbles into $1 billion. It just doesn't happen. $1 billion is such a significant amount of money that you just can't get there on accident. You might be able to make six figures by accident. You might be able to stumble into being average in a very successful high industry, and the people at the bottom make six figures. And so you might be able to do that kind of stuff. But when we talk about the 1%, when we talk about people that are significantly making impacts in life, and I'm not saying this is all financial. This is whatever success means to you, but it's success at a high level. Whatever that high level success is, you will not be 1,000 times better by working 1,000 or 100 times harder. You will be 1,000, 100 times better by having 1,000 and 100 times more belief than you've got right now. It's a bar. You will be 100 times better by having 100 times more belief. So in this episode, I want you to start to think, how can you create more belief? How can you believe in the dreams that you have? How can you believe in God? How do you believe in yourself like you believe in God? How do you believe in your ability to create something that's on the inside of you? How do you believe in your ability to get what's out of your head and what's out of your heart and into your hand? And as a result, hopefully monetize it and get it into your pocket, right? You've got to have belief that this thing can happen for you. You've got to have belief that there is nothing standing in the way from allowing you to accomplish the very life that you know you're capable of accomplishing. More than work ethic, more than hustle, more than grind, more than whatever you think you need to muster up to get the kind of life that you want. The first thing you have to have, the first pivot you should be making in your life is the pivot of belief. I need your belief system to be on 1,000. I need you to walk in every room believing that you can do it, believing that you're the only one stopping yourself, believing that every single thing in this world will adjust to your belief. I'm fired up. You cannot get what you don't first believe. You cannot create what you first don't believe. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you don't think a thing first, you can't materialize a thing. It's more than prayer. It's more than fasting. It's more than being encouraged by somebody else pumping you up. There has to be a point in all of our lives when we don't have to be stimulated by outside forces, but we stimulate ourselves. What is it like to stimulate yourself to get the kind of life that you want and not have to be so stimulated behind books and stimulated behind motivational speakers and stimulated behind seminars and another course and another like, how about you build up the belief system to go out and create the kind of life that you want? I had a conversation with a client, and I posed a question, and the question was, I asked first, how likely, and this is a person that's not rich. I said, how likely, and this person that hasn't, they haven't made six figures yet. I said, how likely how likely do you feel that you can make $1 million in the next 12 months? And they said very unlikely. I believe they said less than 10% chance. And I said, okay. And then I asked, what is the likelihood that you would make $1 million in the next 12 months if all of your family died and was murdered if you did not accomplish it? And the entire mood and demeanor changed. And the response was, I would figure it out. If all of my family and everybody that I love was murdered if I did not accomplish something, I would figure it out. I would just figure it out. And I want to talk to you today because, man, you just don't have the figure it out muscle built yet. You're just like, man, I'm gonna just let life happen. You haven't made the decision to say, I'm gonna just figure it out. Like, I've got a mindset that says I'm just gonna figure it out. No matter what I'm faced with, no matter what challenges I'm in front of, no matter what's in my way, I'm going to figure it out because that's what I was created. And that's what I was designed to do, was to figure it out. Everybody's not gonna give me the answers. Everybody's not gonna solve my problems. Everybody's not gonna support me. I've got to support myself, and my belief has to align with my ability to figure this thing out. Listen, I don't know where you are, man. I don't know where you are in life. I don't know what you need specifically right now. It doesn't matter the sources of what you need. It doesn't matter the resources that you need. The source that you need is in God and in your belief. If you got those two things down, there's nothing you can't accomplish. Mic drop. So in this episode, more than work ethic, more than hustle, more than working hard, I want to talk to your belief today, family. What is your belief system like? Do you believe that tomorrow could be the best day you've ever experienced before? Do you believe that everything that you want, that everything you want to create in your life, by the kind of family that you want, the way you want to show up for your children, the way you want to show up for your nieces and nephews, the way you want to show up for your parents, your community, your school, your job, your business, etc., that everything is on the opposite side of your beliefs? And if there's anything in any area in your life that you're lacking, I can promise you that's connected to your beliefs. And so with that, family, I'm going to give you some homework today. I'm going to give you a homework assignment. And that homework assignment is, I want you to create two lists. I want you to create the first list. I want you to kind of break this up into one piece of paper. On one side of the paper, I want you to create like a 1 through 10 or whatever this, how many ever number this is. On the left side of the paper, I want you to write down all of the problems and the things that are failing or struggling in your life. And I want you to be as detailed and as exhaustive as possible. I want you to write down all of those things. And then after you've gotten all of those out, exacerbated it, 50, you might have 100, whatever that number is. On the right side of that paper, I want you to write down your belief about what that thing could actually be. Right? I want you to find the good and find the good thing in every bad thing, in every failure, and everything that's not going right for you. This doesn't make sense, Justin. What are you talking about? I'm closing in this. There's this law of polarity. The law of polarity says that there can't be one thing without the other, right? The law of polarity says that there are two sides to everything. It's this law, right, that there are two sides, that you can't have a one-sided pancake, right? You can't have a one-sided piece of paper. You can't have a one-sided coin. That everything has two sides to it. And so it's the principle that everything has two sides. Everything has good and evil. You can't have love without hate. You can't have attraction without disconnection. You can't have the north without south. You can't have negative without positive, right? Everything has an opposite. And so on the opposite of everything that's struggling and that you're struggling with in your life, there's an equal but opposite positive that's going on in your life as a result of the struggle that's happening. But guess what? You will not realize it unless you understand and can make the connections. How does this deal with belief, Justin? This is connected to belief because the moment that you realize that everything that's bad has a good side to it, you'll start to focus on the good stuff and not be so concentrated on the bad stuff. And focusing on the good stuff can help build your belief because you'll start to realize, like, man, I've actually got everything good going on in my life. I've just decided to focus on the bad stuff. So write down on the left side of the paper everything that's going wrong in your life, that's failing, that's not going good. It could be relationships, it could be jobs, it could be the amount of money you have in the bank, it could be your mindset, it could be your stress, it could be your whatever. Write all that stuff down on one side. On the opposite side, I want you to write down the complete opposite of all those things. And when you write down the complete opposite of those things are connected not to fantasy, but they're connected to reality. Those are the things that are actually happening simultaneously in your life right now, but that you just can't see because you didn't know the law of polarity. All right. And so I need your belief to be where it's supposed to be to get the kind of life that you want. All right. So I'm going to close on that. Much love to you. I hope this episode was a blessing to you. As always, please continue to give this podcast, a rating and review. Please share it with all your friends, all your family. That's the best way we can get the message of this podcast out there. Here, we believe that life is all about the pivots, y'all. And those who decide to make the pivots decide to become successful. Peace.